Purusha, Prabhuji.
Amazing. He's Purusha. You know. So I have a question for everyone. So in this material world, there are so many ladies, gents, you have cats, dogs, elephants. You know, we have a female dog, female cat. They are all Prakriti.
Yes, Prabhuji, everything.
Yes,
Man and
Prabhuji.
woman, man and woman both are Prakriti.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Serious.
Yes.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So in your words, you said they are to be enjoyed by Krishna. But I have a question for everyone. How many of us agree we are all enjoyers? But we never think we are to be enjoyed. Let us be honest. Anyway, to encourage you, I'll raise my hand.
Yes,
I
Prabhuji.
agree, Prabhuji. Yes, I agree with that.
Who's that?
We are all trying to be Purushas in this material world, like you were talking last time, but we are in fact Prakriti. But that's what we are just trying to do, be the enjoyers.
Who is this?
Nikha, Prabhuji.
Amazing. So what is our reason to be in this metal world? Anybody?
To enjoy independent of Krishna, Prabhuji.
Enjoy independent of Krishna. So when will we, whatever we are reading, you know, whether it is Naganaga Sadhana Bhakti or Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, when will it attain that state? Huh?
When we get the love of Krishna, Prabhuji, when we get the prema.
No, I mean, that's not what I'm asking right now. I'm asking in connection with whatever other points I mentioned. So
When we try to follow in the footsteps of the previous acharyas.
no, I'm asking. I mean, we are Prakriti. I think. Anand Prabhu's wife, Radhika Mataji, she said we are Prakriti, we are enjoyers, but we have to be enjoyed by Krishna. Krishna is the only Purusha. Then I asked, what is our problem? Why are we stuck in the metal world? Then somebody said, because we want to enjoy independent of Krishna, right? Then, then how long will we stay in this metal world? That's the question in that connection.
As long as we have that propensity to enjoy, we will be stuck here.
As long as we have the propensity to enjoy, very nice. We'll get stuck here. Wonderful. So everyone is listening.
Yes,
Yes,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
My next question to you. You know, I'm a temple president, I'm a GBC, I'm a guru, I'm a senior Prabhupada disciple. So will I still be present in the material world?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Who is this as? So what should know? Why? I'm a GBC. You know, I'm Prabhupada disciple. Still I'm stuck in the metal world.
Prabhuji, can you repeat?
Huh?
So it depends on personal spiritual practice, not material designation.
Person depends on the spiritual practice, but not metal designation. Amazing. Wonderful. So again, coming back to what the 3 points that Madhuri answered, said, so how long we'll get stuck in the metal world? Repeating again. Somebody said as long as, what is that?
We have the
We are not
propensity.
sincere in the
We
sadhana.
have a propensity of enjoying.
We have the propensity to enjoy. Then my next question to all of you, what type of different types of enjoyment are there? What are the different ways we enjoy? Anybody?
Prabhuji, sense
Sensual,
enjoyment.
Prabhuji.
Chaitanya Swarup Prabhu, sense enjoyment is one.
The
Exactly.
senses.
Mental and intellectual.
Mental and intellectual. Very nice. And any other enjoyment other than these 3?
Soul level enjoyment, Prabhuji, after we go beyond this.
Soul level enjoyment is real, Amma. So with that we can enjoy.
Also ego level, Prabhuji. On ego level. On
Huh?
ego level. On ego level, Prabhuji.
On ego level. Paramahansa said. Very nice, very nice. I have example. Now I want every one of you. What is the best example for sensual enjoyment? Give me example. Because we should not do these things, right? That's what you are telling, right? Sense enjoyments, we try to enjoy on these 4 levels. So give me example for sensual level.
Through tongue, Prabhu. Through tongue.
Who is this?
Eating. Anand Prabhu.
Anand Prabhu. Very nice. Only one tongue. What else?
The touch by sea and through warning, the hearing.
Anybody? What is the example of sensual pleasures?
Disney World, Prabhuji. Eyes, we go and enjoy through our eyes.
Who is this?
Nine Sundari, Prabhuji.
Oh, thank you. Okay, wonderful. And Disney World, wonderful and very nice. So as long as there's a desire to enjoy so Disney World, go and see, enjoy Disney World. So we are an enjoyer. So then very nice. And anybody else?
Mundane songs, Prabhuji. Mundane Vani, if we hear mundane entertainment, so-called entertainment. If we hear.
Very nice. And examples of sensual pleasures. So watching movies, yes, they're not good. Actually, watching movies also mental pleasure and sensual pleasure. What are the other pleasures?
Any sort of enjoyment in this material world outside Krishna consciousness.
Like right now we are at sensual level. What is the best? What are the examples for sensual pleasure? So somebody says in 9th cinema said going to seeing Disneyland, mundane entertainment, and louder. What is it?
Eating palatable foods other than prasadam.
Eating palatable food other than prasadam, fantastic. Anything else?
Gambling, bro.
Gambling is also, yes, material pleasure, sensual pleasure, okay.
Talking gossip, Prabhuji.
Talking gossip. Any other pleasures?
Sensual pleasure.
What is that?
Online shopping, Prabhuji.
Online. Okay, online shopping.
Discussing newspapers, Bollywood.
Who is telling? Discussing newspapers. Somebody is telling.
Prabhuji, Nine Sundari.
Amazing. Okay, and
power and position, Prabhuji.
Power and position is it's mental pleasure. It is not essential pleasure.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Dress up elaborately, Prabhuji.
We'll
do too much.
We dress up elaborately, not just dress up elaborately, but dress up. What do you call that word?
Shangar.
Opulently.
Opulently, Prabhuji.
Dress up to invoke inappropriate dress up. Okay. Actually, still sensual pleasure, there's one thing I would have ended there and then I would have shifted. Anyway, that's wonderful. And
Attraction to opposites.
Attraction to opposite sex. Actually, sensual pleasure. Somebody said, who said sensual pleasure?
I said it, Prabhuji.
Huh?
That's I said it.
Oh, I didn't hear. What is it?
Chaitanya Swarup Das.
What is said?
Sensual pleasure.
Sensual pleasure, sexual pleasure. Yes. What is that? What is that? But I have a question. Sexual pleasure for the benefit of giving birth to children, is it material or spiritual?
Spiritual, Prabhuji.
Where is it mentioned?
Bhagavad Gita, Krishna.
Amazing. Yes. Wonderful. Now my next question is, you're coming and jumping and dancing in the temple. Is material pleasure or spiritual pleasure?
Spiritual pleasure.
Spiritual pleasure.
And the eating prasad in the temple, material pleasure or spiritual pleasure?
Spiritual.
Spiritual pleasure.
Anywhere, eating prasad anywhere. So, what is that? Where there is no Krishna, but anyway, sensual pleasure, you're all clear, very wonderful, very nice. Then what about the example for mental pleasures?
Power and position, Prabhuji.
Power and position, Mataji, Premada Mother said.
Name and fame, Prabhuji.
Name and fame, yes.
Doing too much planning for future.
Doing too much planning for future, you have to do, otherwise who will take care of you, too much planning, so you added an extra adjective, okay? Planning extra adverb actually, I think Kali Yuga is very, what do you call, that shows the sign you are not advanced, but it is not mental pleasure actually, why not, so who will take care of you, So Grahasthas, you need some planning so that you can retire timely and, too much means, you know what it means, but I'll tell you a simple thing, adoration, distinction, Kanaka Kamini, Kanaka and Kamini, they're sensual, Pratishtha is a mental. I need name and fame. I preach very well. I have so many followers. I can defeat others by argument. I sing very well. I speak very well. But of course, these things you do, but there is no Krishna in that. You are doing it for your mental pleasure, then it is mental pleasure. Basically, mind enjoys actually. Very nice. Intellectual pleasure.
Sorry, bro. Isn't that ego level project? The name and fame.
Name and fame can be basically externally mind enjoys. Prabhuji, all these things, ultimate enjoy is ego actually. Like for example, externally sensual pleasures, but underneath who will enjoy? Ego. Externally mental pleasure, but who will enjoy at the end? Ego. But of course, there are some pleasures designated under ego level also. Intellectual pleasure, I'm the best performer in the office. I do the production support problems. I solve them very nicely, better than anybody. I plan very well. Nobody is better planner than me. So that is intellectual. Not just playing chess and defeating others. Educational qualifications. These are all mental pleasures. Intellectual pleasures are problems come, you solve them using your intelligence. Egoistic pleasure is, though everything is at the end connected to egoist pleasure. I am the winner of Wimbledon. In my home, out of 7 generations, I only came to America. Nobody else came to America. I'm the only in my family in this 7 generations. They said, my mother said, father said, I've seen snow. I've been living in America for this many 5 years, 10 years. That is egoistic pleasures. All these pleasures, as long as we harbor, we entertain. What is our destination?
Back to material world.
Back to material world. So that's why I conclude one day, without Guru's grace, Prabhupada's grace, and Krishna's grace, I can never overcome this. How many of you agree? That's what I felt. Because on my own, I can never. The ego is so high. Do you all agree with this?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So thank you very much. Because that's why Rupa Goswami says real bhakti, real bhakti starts after liberation. Real bhakti starts after liberation. But Prabhupada said, if you are 70% pure, I'll take you back to Godhead. If you are 70% pure, I'll take you back to Godhead. I really do not know what the 70% purity means. but at least from our side, we need to try. That's why Krishna consciousness is not acquired. Krishna consciousness is awarded by Krishna. So rather than being tempted for a position, prestige, you should be tempted to have intense greed for getting the mercy of Krishna. Greed is the quality that takes you to hell. Trividam narakasyedam dwaram nashanamatmana kama krodha stada lobha. That word is there, lobha. Krishna is warning us in Bhagavad Gita. But same lobha, same greed, if we apply it to bhakti, I want to make progress. Let me, if nobody is there, I will do arti today. If nobody is there, I'll clean the temple today. Nobody is there, I'll go to Mangalarti today. If nobody is following, I'll set their example today. So if you develop the intense greed, then you will go forward in the front pages of Krishna. But I want to tell you, don't be discouraged. You all should know you have gone very far. How many of you happy for that statement?
Very happy, Prabhuji.
Yes, you have gone very far. And don't worry about the momentary fall downs. But of course, one has to be diligently conscious, and one has to be very careful. And one has to be careful of the pitfalls. But never have a Raghunath Das Goswami says in Manassiksha, a life that devotees know, a life devotees don't know. That will create what it will create? Dambha, hypocrisy. It will create hypocrisy, and I don't know the Dambha is the exact word for hypocrisy or not, but definitely hypocrisy. So don't worry, try your best, and one day Krishna will pick up, Krishna's grace will pick us up, because Lord Chaitanya is Radha and Krishna combined. Lord Chaitanya came to give Krishna Prema to everyone. Narasimha Swami came to protect Prahlad, and Vamandev came to take everything from Bali Maharaj and give everything to return everything to Indra. So, and Varadev came to lift the planet Earth from Garbhodak Ocean. Likewise, Lord Chaitanya came to, his sole purpose was to just give Krishna Prema to everyone. Patra apatra deki na deki sthan sthan. Lord Chaitanya does not see the qualification. I mean, you're all trying to, trying your best. So, without depending on the university's grace marks. But our university is University of Grace. What is our university? Chaitanya University of Grace. What is our university?
University of Grace.
Yes.
What type of grace? Krishna Prema grace. He'll directly give Krishna Prema only. So you say, okay, I want admission in this university. Lord Chaitanya say, I'll make you vice chancellor. But never exploit this. Never become proud. Be sincere. So, Swakiya, Radharani has what is Radharani? Radharani is one day Krishna, last time I told, one day Krishna was in a Rasamandala, arena of Golok Vrindavan. Krishna desired to enjoy. So Krishna, he developed a strong desire to enjoy. When he developed a desire to enjoy, immediately the pleasure potency in his heart came out and manifested his Ahladini Shakti. Sandhani Samvit Ahladini, this Ahladini Shakti manifested as a woman, girl. As a young girl, and she started running towards Krishna just to serve him. Ra means Rasamandala, Dha means Dhamana. So she's running to serve Krishna. She's running towards Krishna with an intensity with an intent to serve. That's why she is called Radha. And she is non-different from Krishna, but she expands in 3 ways. What is that? Chaitanya Charitamrita explains. Mahishi Gana, all the queens of Dwarka, Radharani's expansions, all the gopis have Vrindavan have mirror images, and the Lakshmi Tattva, all the Lakshmis are also, I think, Prabhava or Vilas expansions, I don't remember. But these three can come from Radharani. Everybody who will repeat whatever I said. One person, can you repeat whatever I said as much as possible?
Prabhuji, Krishna once desired.
No, rather than its expansions.
Okay. No.
Mahishi Gana, Prabhuji, queens of Dwaraka and Lakshmi.
There are three ways. One is Lakshmi Tattva, comes from Radharani. Second is all the queens of Dwarka come from Radharani. Third is Gopis of Vrindavan come from Indrani. So in three ways, who will repeat these three things? That's what I'm asking. Okay, first one.
Gopis and wives of Krishna's and Lakshmi Devi.
So
they all came from Radharani.
Not Lakshmi Devi, Lakshmi Tattva. Because every Vishnu has Lakshmi. Narayan has Lakshmi. Mahavishnu has Lakshmi. Narvasa Vishnu. Every Vishnu has a counter energy. Lakshmi Devi is there. How many Lakshmis are there? Unlimited. They all come from whom?
Radharani.
Radharani.
Yes. Then, okay. Bahiranga Shakti, Antaranga Shakti, and Tatastha Shakti. So, who is Bahiranga Shakti?
Maya, illusion, illusory energy.
Who is that person?
Durga Devi.
Durga Devi.
Comes from whom?
Bahiranga Shakti.
Comes from whom?
Radharani. Radharani.
That's it. So Durga also comes from Radharani. There is a book called Vedanta Shamantika by Baldev Vidyabhushan. So there's a verse I forgot, Madhura Mandale, was that, so she says, so standing between beside Krishna and between this side and this side, Radha and Chandravali, so, but he speaks about Radharani, Tam Amsa Lakshmi Durga Adikacha. So that Radharani, her Amsa is Lakshmi Devi, her Amsa also Durga Devi. So Lakshmi Devi's internal potency comes from Radharani. External potency, Bahiranga Shakti, comes from Radharani. You are listening or not?
Yes,
Prabhuji.
So actually there is a chapter in Bhagavatam on the Gopi, the queens of Dwarka, they don't want, first of all, we should understand in the spiritual world there is no lust. In the material world there is no love. In the material world there is no love. In the spiritual world there is no lust. Again, in the spiritual world there is no love. In the material world there is no love. In the spiritual world there is no lust. Who will repeat that line? In the material world there is no
love.
In the spiritual world there is no
Lust.
Okay, what is lust means? Why I am telling in the material world?
In the material world there is no love. And in the spiritual world there is no lust.
So then why then so many people are getting married.
There's no love.
So many people are getting giving birth to children. What does it mean by lust? Anybody?
Desiring to enjoy separately from Krishna.
Desiring to enjoy separately from Krishna. Very nice. Anybody else?
Love is when we want the pleasure of the loved. Lust is when we want our pleasure.
Lust.
Amazing.
Love is selfless, Prabhuji. Lust is selfish.
You're speaking, your answers are a million times better than me. Amazing. So okay, every time I say 3 times Haribol, so far the answers are great. So 3 times Haribol to all of you who have answered so very well. Say unmute and say Haribol, Haribol. Hari
Bol.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
That's how we learn actually. Very nice, very nice. Atmendriya Preeti Tara Vancha Bale Kama. I know what is Kama? I want to enjoy. One more gulab jamun. No, after it's prasad, that enjoyment is bona fide allowed. Basically, if I want to gratify my senses, my mind, my intelligence, that is lust. Krishnendra Preeti Ichchadhare Prema Nama. If I want to satisfy Krishna's senses, then that's called prema. And I'll tell a small story just to prove this. One devotee worshipped Krishna for so many years. There is no response from Krishna. He became so upset. He became so upset. Krishna is not reciprocating. And what he did, he stopped worshiping. So then he started bringing other pictures in his home to worship. So, and Krishna is there, Krishna's deity is there, but he ignored Krishna. He was doing arati to others. Suddenly he got a feeling, Krishna is, though he is not worshipping because Krishna is there on the altar, he is doing actually ghee, incense. He is doing like, other pictures he brought, right? Other devatas. So he got a feeling Krishna is actually receiving that. So what he did, he went and closed the nose of Krishna like this. And he was doing arati and he went and closed the nose of Krishna, the deity nose. Immediately Krishna got hold of his hand and said, "Hey, why are you closing my nose?" And then this devotee was shocked. "My Lord, I worshipped you for so long. You never reciprocated. When I stopped worshipping, in fact, when I was at the height of not worshipping you, by blocking your nose, you reciprocated." Then Krishna said, "Earlier you dealt with me like a stone or wood. Now you are dealing with me like a person." Because he felt Krishna is actually receiving that smell of incense, right? Because he became inimical, he closed his nose. So it means you're perceiving me as a person. That's why reciprocate. Earlier you were not. It was mechanical. How many of you understood it?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So Krishna is a person. Krishna is not a marble. We are not that we are crazy and we don't have anything to do. He's a person. Based on our purity, based on our intensity to love Krishna that much. So Krishna will reciprocate with the type of intensity. Amazing. So, okay, well, then I have a question for everyone. And let us see, we'll answer it a little difficult. Prahlad was only 5-year-old boy when he saw Vishnu. Right? Prahlad says, "My Lord, I am lusty. I was born in demonic family. I am lusty, my Lord. You still came." What does Prahlad mean by this?
He was lusty for Krishna's service, Krishna's devotion, Krishna's bhakti, Krishna's attention.
Very nice, positive. But Prahlad is actually condemning himself. That what does it mean? Actually, the answer is difficult. Anyway, I'll answer. Many years I meditated on this. What does it mean? Prahlad is telling he's lusty. That is 5-year-old boy, pure devotee. His Guru Maharaj Naradaman is glorifying him. And wherever you go, people speak out Prahlad. Then one lecture I heard, though lust means actually sensual enjoyment, no doubt. But on higher levels, if you try to do anything, or you want anything to happen, which is contrary to the desire of Krishna, it's called lust. What is lust? When you want something to happen, which is against the desires of Krishna, it's called lust. How many of you are clear? Clear, right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
I know not that Prahlad has any.
We don't know what is Krishna's desire.
That's why Prahlad is telling he's lusty. So, until we have a direct one-to-one connection with Paramatma in our heart, we will not know Krishna's desire. So that's why, as long as we have impurity in our heart, we cannot understand Krishna's desires. As long as we cannot understand Krishna's desires, we have impurity in our heart. Clear?
Prabhuji, but the whole Bhagavad Gita, especially the 12th chapter, says that whatever he doesn't like, he's very clear in saying that, Prabhuji. Krishna is very clear that who are envious is not dear to me. And he's saying who are very dear to me also. And also in the last sloka, 20th sloka, he's saying very, very dear to me. So it's everything there in the Bhagavad Gita, right, Prabhuji? Is that not the desire?
Krishna, very nice. Krishna is telling, I'm understanding what you're talking about. Here we are talking about, Prahlad is talking about lust. On Prahlad level, we are talking about what is lust. And I'm not talking about whether Prahlad is supremely dear to Narsimha. No doubt about it. No, it is Prahlad's mentality. I heard this. Why is Prahlad telling? So the answer is this. So Prahlad was always dear to Krishna actually. There is never a moment. Why? That's why otherwise he would not have come, right? Actually, if he came out with the form to match the to beat the principles of the boon, to beat the boons of Hiranyakasipu, because he loved Prahlad intensely, right? So, but doesn't mean I'm not talking about Prahlad. I'm not talking about Prahlad. Like in Bhagavatam, there is a Daksha story. Daksha got darshan of Krishna. There is a prayer called Hamsa Guhya prayers. When he offered his prayers, Vishnu was very satisfied. And Vishnu gave him a personal service to Daksha. But still Daksha became angry with Narad Muni. So seeing the Lord, everyone is dear to the Lord, especially his devotees. But it doesn't mean we have become fully purified. You understanding?
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay, so sorry, let us go back to the topic. So, Parakiya means, Swakiya means wedded. Parakiya means not wedded. My point is, why Parakiya is the topmost in the spiritual world? Because there are so many obstacles. For example, in India, when Mataji, she was initiated by one of the gurus in ISKCON. Then eventually every Mataji has to get married. So she got married eventually. She got married and then the in-laws said, hey, first day she started chanting. And all this bogus, we don't believe in it. So you you decide yourself. If you want to do all these things, let us not waste so much time. You can go home and we'll find another boy, another girl for ourselves. First day after marriage. Or if you want to continue, just stay here. She was shocked. Indian women, most of their, India is changing, majority, especially, they're very sincere, exceptional, very chaste. Of course, unfortunately, India is changing now. No, actually, can you believe first day she had to make a choice to leave to take divorce because in-laws were not liking her. What she did? She took some time. She gave her time. You decide yourself. Otherwise, if you naturally you come and stay with us, then my son will develop attachment. You will develop attachment. It will break your heart. It will break his heart. You decide. You go home and decide. They gave her little time. First day itself. Then this lady, she came back and said, I'll give up Krishna consciousness. Great. And I'll serve you. Just 10, 20 years ago, India was, not at least 20 years ago, joint families, right? So she would serve the in-laws and husband very well. But like this, she has been doing it for 18 years now. But in-laws never knew she's chanting every day. She's chanting her rounds every day without fail. And in a very particular time, private time, she would meet her beloved Krishna by chanting the holy name. Everyone is listening?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji.
So jivas are all Prakriti, Krishna is Purusha. Jivas are Prakriti, Krishna is Purusha. Now we have got human bodies. Then we may, some people, some of you, some or all of you, yes, you're into some, you're all married. So you have your children all. But for the soul, if you develop an attachment for Krishna and Madhurya Ras, what type of relationship you will have with Krishna? Whether it is wedded or unwedded. I'm just giving an example. So, anybody? Anybody understood what I said?
Unwedded Prabhuji.
We understood. So, somebody said unmarried. Who's this?
Radhika Prabhuji.
Others, let us see what others say. I mean, you have your children, everybody, but you have developed a affection, for bhakti. You came to Krishna consciousness, you are doing it. So, I'm just giving an example. One time Prabhupada met a professor, and I was, met one Bengali gentleman. And Prabhupada said, are you married or not? He said, yes. Why are you enjoying Krishna's wife? He said. And that guy was shocked. So one time somebody sued ISKCON. This is promoting illicit relationships. Because they're telling all this, gopis and all. And this should be banned from it's a very civilized society. This is promoting illicit relationships. With they're calling their God, and everybody is in conjugal love, they're calling Jiva as the Prakriti, God is a Purusha. The case came to court. The ISKCON lawyer said, when somebody joins full-time in Christianity, every nun, they declare themselves as the bride of Jesus. What is that, he asked. If you want to cancel, ISKCON, ban ISKCON, first ban Christianity. Judge, in the same day, he cancelled that court case. That court case was removed. So I want everyone to know we are all a Prakriti. That's why what is that? Madhurya is not applicable only to gentle and ladies. It's applicable to gents. Some of you said all our acharyas. Rupa Goswami is Rupa Manjari. And what is Rasalila is nothing but Jiva Brahma Anusandhanam, the union of love between Jiva and Parabrahman Krishna. And one lecture, Radhana Swami said, what happens between Jagannath and Lord Chaitanya is Rasalila. But you don't feel that, because you don't have any negativity about it, because Jagannath is standing as a Daru Brahman in his wooden form on the chariot. And Lord Chaitanya is a strict sannyasi, surrounded by Advaita Acharya, Nityananda Prabhu, Gadadhar Pandit, and Srivas Thakur, the residents of Sri Kanta, Adi Saptagram, Jajigram. So you don't get that feeling. Everyone is listening or not? I'm clarifying it.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So the point is, what is that? One has to be very clear about it. Honestly speaking, unless there is a strength of sadhana, one cannot be clean. Then what happens? Instead of purification, they'll be putrefied. They'll fall down actually. So that's why Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, approach this with dignity. What is that? Approach with the dignity, otherwise don't approach. That's fine. You know, this Swakiya Pargi and all, it's like AC room, AC car. You don't need AC car to reach the destination. For you to reach the AC car, you need to reach the destination, what do you need? An ordinary car. This is AC car. So one day with this devotee, he said, Shyamananda Prabhu, he said, Chopper Temple President, Gaur one time he was speaking in Radharani's birthplace, Rawal, he said, Are pehle aapka 4 tire tik karo. If you want to reach the destination, you need a car. But you have a car, but the 4 tires are not good, then what is the advantage? I mean, how can you reach? You may have a very good car, but the tires they are deflated tires. So what is the first tire? Realize you are not the body but a spirit soul. What is that?
Realizing that we are not this body, we are a soul, Prabhuji.
Yes. Then second tire, good sadhana. Third tire, don't offend devotees. Don't criticize devotees. Fourth tire, intense desire to do service. Intense greed to render service to others. And looking for Krishna's gaze. These 4 tires, if you make it, if you work on these 4 tires and fill them with air of grace, then you will reach the destination. After reaching the destination, then you decide Sakya, Dasya, Vatsalya, Mathurya. I don't know if you're listening or not. I'm making a very intense point here. Otherwise, this is not for the beginners actually. That too, we are in the 70th chapter. There are another more than 23, 24 chapters are there. Everyone is listening or not?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
It is intense. Intense means intense. And this is who is that? Akhila Rasamrita Murti Krishna. All the acharyas, Ramanuja, Madhva Nimbarka, Vishnu Swami. Nowadays, many other religions, they are also worshipping Krishna. Understanding is a sweet form. So, ladies and gentlemen, Prabhu and Mataji, you don't need to approach. You're learning, but understand there is no inebriety. There is nothing wrong there. It is a purely soul stuff. One time Jayabadamar said, Gopis and Krishna danced for one Brahma's lifetime in the spiritual form. The bodies are at home only, taking care of children, taking care of husband. But in their spiritual form, dancing with Krishna. And the Gopis, they want to go to hell eternally for the pleasure of Krishna. I'll give an example. One of you attained perfection. Is it inappropriate to your husband and to your spouse and children? Huh?
No, Prabhu.
Who is telling me?
No, Prabhuji.
Ram Kumar Das.
Perfect. Okay, Ram Kumar Prabhu attains perfection in a spiritual form. Like what is that? Under Rupa Goswami, Rupa Manjari. So is it inappropriate for his family, in his kids, for Mataji? No, perfect. It's a celebration, right? And similarly, Mataji also, supposing, attains the same thing. Is it inappropriate to Ramkumar Prabhu and his children?
No.
How many of you are clear on this aspect?
Haribo.
Otherwise, what happens is, the one devotee by name Radha Gopinath Prabhu said, Mullah ki daud masjid tak. I know. When you see one boy and girl, they may be father and daughter, or they may be mother and son. But because we have lust in our heart, kya hone wala hai? That is not their problem, it is your problem, sir. Ma'am. So Lord Chaitanya approved this. Ramya Kajitapasana Vrajvadurgene Kalpita. See, if you think, I'm unfit for, I cannot digest because my heart is filled with lust, don't go there. Perfect, first of all, 4 tire tik kariye aapka 4 tire. What are the 4 tires? We'll discuss this one day on any festival. More. What are the 4 tires that we should work on that?
First is we are not this body, we are a spirit soul.
Right.
Second one is we should
Intense
sadhana approach.
Very nice. Third one.
Not offending devotees.
Not offending devotees and not criticizing devotees. Yes. Last one.
Intense desire to render, to serve.
Intense desire to please Guru and Krishna by the service. अरे पहले 4 टायर ठीक करिए, परकीय स्वकीय समादकीय वो बाद में देखेंगे. पहले first of all you self realize, and you are that is difficult for me, I cannot understand, I still have impurity. Don't go there. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says approach with dignity. But you should know this is after liberation, we are there. What is the greatness of Gaudiya Vaishnavism? We'll go so many chapters after this. The Rasacharya, Rupa Goswami, the Bhakti Acharya. Actually, Rupa Goswami is the first time, based on his teaching, based on Lord Chaitanya's teachings to him, he came out with Bhakti Shastras. That's why other sampradayas, they'll respect and love Rupa Goswami and Jiva Goswami. Though these two are from not from their sampradaya. Why? Because other sampradayas follow bhakti, and only these two acharyas in a very systematic way, they have defined the process, path, sadhana and sadhya. At what stage you'll get what? At what stage you'll get Krishna, everything is given. Clear or not? So, under Radharani, they are called Sakhis. Under Ashta Sakhis are main prime Sakhis. And actually Radharani is 108. Under them Upasakis, under them Manjaris, under them Upamanjaris. Then likewise the hierarchy goes. So altogether, I used to listen, Radharani has used to have 1 billion gopis. How many?
1 billion.
But later I had recently 630 million. First time I heard 100 crore gopis, and now I heard recently 636 or 63.6 crore. 63 crore gopis. Not much difference anyway, So, Lord Chaitanya approved this strict sannyasi, because Christianity says, okay, eternal life. What is eternal life? What will you do going there? Mayavadi says you'll merge in Brahman, you'll become one with Brahman, that light, and you'll swim in Brahman. What swim in Brahman? You'll be bored to death actually. Of course, there's no death because you're liberated. You think, I should not have been liberated, but America is better, every once in a while I would get slapped. And when with that slappy, whenever I would enjoy, the really happiness here, itna hai nahi, you know. Everybody is like this only all the time. Let me go back. No. The dealings with Krishna, a tiny dealing of Krishna will so much overwhelm you. You'll keep on seeing Krishna for the rest of the eternity only. Krishna's beauty keeps on increasing only. So Lord Chaitanya approved Manjari Bhava and and what is that? That is the goal of life. So this is about conjugal love. Any question on this? Then we'll go for Sambandha Anuga or Sambandha Roop. Any question so far? No question, right? Great. Then Sambandha Anuga. Parenthood or friendship. You know, Mathurya, sorry, it was over and now it is Vatsalya and Sakhya. You all should know what is that? It's a direct. Direct means Krishna's father is Nanda Maharaj. Uddhava comes and tells Nanda Maharaj, nobody is more fortunate than you. You know, you have attained the perfection of your life. Then, what is that? Then, you know, if somebody is there, I want to be Nanda Maharaj. Yashoda bound Krishna, you know. I want to be Yashoda. Because that Yashoda was in Dwapar Yuga. I want to be Kali Yuga Yashoda. Or I want to be Kali Yuga Nanda Maharaj. Sometimes people think like that. But if you think like that, you're a Mayavadi. Not only Krishna's position is full, Krishna's parents' position, friends' position, they're all occupied. If you are liberated, you will get one more position. But thinking of becoming Krishna's father, Krishna's mother, Krishna's friends, you know, like Arjun, Vishal, Sudama. You're listening, right?
Yes, sir.
So, because those positions are full, we want to become their servants. One time Prabhupada was asked in an airport in Hong Kong, Burjan Prabhu says, who are you? Are you God? Prabhupada said, no, I am servant of God. Then Prabhupada came back to temple and Prabhupada told Burjan Prabhu, these reporters, they can't understand. That's why I told them, I'm servant of God. Even a direct servant of God is also very high position. I am a servant of God. Tadbrutya brutya paricharika brutya brutya brutyasya brutya lokanada. So, I want to be the servant, speck of servant of servant of servant of servant of servant of servant of servant. So 7 times. In other words, becoming one with the. But of course, based on our position, we have direct relationship with Krishna. You know, one lecture I heard, we all interact with Krishna, not that, somebody is enjoying and, we eagerly look, no. Radharani reveals that same pleasure to every one of her Sakis, Upasakis, Manjaris, Kumanjaris, and the devotees. Then you'll explode in joy. So indirectly, aspiring for the service, and appreciation for Krishna's parents and friends. Oh yeah, Yashoda is great. Nanda Maharaj is great. Arey Arjun. Madhumangal kya? What do you know is like ऐसा हमेशा चोरी करते लड्डू and Krishna को देख के बिना देख के खा लेते वो. So Madhumangal is great. So let me, so you become fan of Madhumangal. That's fine. So in other words, indirectly aspiring for service and appreciation of Krishna's parents and friends. Then what happens? You will follow the moods of Yashoda. You will follow the moods of Nanda Maharaj. So, for example, one old man, Hastinapur, he was very intense. He wanted to attain Dasyaras. Pay Vatsalyaras. Narada told him, follow the footsteps of Nanda Krishna. Follow the footsteps of Nanda Maharaj. Follow the footsteps of Nanda Maharaj. Based on whichever ras, based on your liking for whichever ras, you will be attached to that personality. You will follow their footsteps unknowingly, and that is what is called anuga. You are following raga anuga, because they are devotees of raga bhakti. You follow their footsteps. That is called raga anuga bhakti. Clear or not? Huh? How many of you are clear? If you want, I can repeat.
Yeah, Prabhuji.
Great, chapter is over. I have a question for you. Let us see. You are in the Sakhyaras. Whom will you follow? Whose footsteps will you follow?
Arjun.
Somebody said, who said?
Prabhuji, Arjun.
Arjun, yes. Means then what happens? You are coming to Dwarka side. Because Arjun is Krishna's friend in Dwarka and Hastinapur. Because spiritual world, Gola Vrindavan, there's three compartments, three areas: Dwarka, Mathura, and Vrindavan. What is it? Mayapur. So, one more example for Krishna's friend.
Stoka Krishna Prabhuji. Madhumangal.
Madhumangal. Then it means you are practicing Ragana Bhakti in Sakhyaras in Vrindavan. Amazing.
Prabhuji, to relate to or to connect to such a relationship bhav, we need to know more about these devotees, right, Prabhuji?
Yes. You need to know more about that. But first of all, we are learning, but वो 4 tier tick तो करना है. First of all, the 4 tiers we need to make it. We need to make sure the tiers have air, sufficient air. Temple president tells, come and do some service. Mushkil hai. And if we quarrel with the devotees, and we have what is that? We have we fight with others, and and what is that? I want to bhogna hai achhi tarf, so idhar jana hai, udhar jana hai, enjoy karna hai. But when it comes to Nectar of Devotion class, charge barna hai, arey Vrindavan mein hi, not Dwarka. Gopi only. That will create a distortion. We are creating an image. So one time one Christian professor said, he was arguing with one of our ISKCON gurus, seriously, trying to block our devotees from having a program in the college. So they started arguing. Finally, he realized, he was unable to stand before these devotees. He said, I don't believe in all these things. You don't believe in all these things? Then why are you preaching this? I am a religion professor. If I had become professor of physics, I would have preached like this only. Because I have become religious professor, I read nicely and preach nicely. But I don't have faith on this. In other words, there is an academic education for him. He doesn't have faith. So he will not get any benefit, nor his followers. You understanding or not? Everyone.
Yes, Prabhuji.
First of all, there should be enough tire in the 4 tires. Sorry, enough air in the 4 tires. Just because we are discussing bhava bhakti, अरे पहुंच गया मैं तो भाव भक्ति में. I'm already freed from lust, anger, envy, greed. Lust, anger, envy, greed. And मैं तो क्या अनर्थ निवृत्ति खत्म हो गया मेरा. I should not even think because this is the second time taking this class. Looks like I have become freed from anarth nivriti. आज तो लगता है मैं निष्ठा में पहुंच गया मैंने. Maybe may not be Nishtha actually. Everyone is thinking, I think I have reached, bhav only. So people will come to know eventually. So Maya will, if you have that feeling and pray to Krishna, next minute only Krishna will reveal which place we stand. You're all listening? So anyway, my point is, yes, why are we learning? That there is a stage like this. Honestly speaking, I was thinking recently, there is a word called sadachara. Our sadhana, our maturity in sadhana will decide our relationships with others. Our maturity in sadhana will decide, our sadhana will reflect in our relationships with others. We cannot remain mouth shut all the time. We have to speak. Then our originality will come out. So, but we are learning. We are learning means, there is a level. There is not just a struggling sadhana bhakti, but there is a bhava bhakti. After that, there is a prema bhakti. There paunchana hai. Not that there is a McDonald's here, let me keep on eating and let me settle here and then I'll go home. No. Why did you start driving? You want to go to New York from Michigan. Then go to New York. The way we have GPS, this Nectar of Devotion is a GPS for us to decide our goals and act accordingly. But if we focus only on externals, not upgrading the internals, it will create hypocrisy, a distortion, a life that devotees knows, a life devotees don't know. We also, will, especially, I'm talking about myself. Everyone is listening or not?
Yes, Prabhuji.
But again, I'm not fixing you in anarth nivritti only. No. If you have gone to Nishtha, great, you have gone to Nishtha. You have gone to Ruchi, oh, great. It has nothing to do with the external designations. Any question or comment?
Prabhuji, you said, Rupa Goswami said, approach with dignity. So, approach with dignity.
Bhaktivinoda Thakur said.
Sorry, Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, approach with dignity means approach this topic with dignity and understand we are not at that level. Is this what you meant, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji, yes, exactly. If you're not there, accept it. If you're already there, you don't need to be humble. If you're there, you are there. Approach with dignity means deserve before you desire. Otherwise, it'll create sahajism. But if it is there, you have reached, why not? You can develop also. You can develop that mood. But at least, what is that? अरे मंदिर में लोग बोलते सेवा करो, वो difficult है. How many of you are understanding or at least agreeing with what we are doing? First of all, we should make sure the 4 tires are strong. Not what others think of us. We should assess ourselves. And honestly, not the number of years.
Yes.
If somebody is making noise, can you please mute? Probably know it is.
So it's very clear, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. That
And I think someone has to mute. Yes, Shreya Mataji.
So, yes, Prabhuji.
Can you please mute? Acha, yeah.
Sorry, Prabhuji.
No problem.
I think the question. I'll mute.
Acha, you're asking question. No, I heard some sound. That's it. Okay, again, we should have that goal. We should have a goal to make progress to there, whichever. But it should have, I mean, what is that? Especially after certain maturity, you can read. We are reading Nectar of Devotion. It's an advanced book. You can read it. There's nothing wrong. Taking permission from Shiksha Guru, we should read. It's not a problem. And understand there is a level. I'm not there yet. But you should understand I should be there. I have a question for everybody. I am not there yet, but I should be there. What should we do? Should we increase rounds? Or should we increase our sadhana? Where should we improve? Honestly speaking, answer is whatever helps you improve, you should go for it. But especially dealings. Otherwise, what happens? You will create a life that others know, and you have one more life that others don't know. You are listening or not?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes,
okay. So should we end it and we'll continue on this? We have come to the exam. What is that? The qualities of Bhava Bhakti we will discuss next week. And for example, separatism. You are practicing bhakti in the mode of ignorance. What is the example of bhakti in the mode of ignorance? Separatism. What is a bhakti in the mode of Rajagun? Bhakti in the mode of Tamagun is separatism. I mean. Bhakti in the mode of Rajagun is I want to enjoy the fruits of bhakti. And bhakti in the mode of goodness is what? I want to get purified. Sattvagun bhakti is okay actually. But Shuddha bhakti is above the three modes. That is what I can tell. Any question or comment? Otherwise, we'll end it today.
Before we end, can we revise the 4 tires?
4 tires. Who will tell the 4 tires?
We are not this body, we are a spirit, soul, Prabhuji. First one.
Yes, we are not spirit, soul. Wonderful. Second one
is intense sadhana.
Intense sadhana.
Not criticizing devotees and not offending devotees.
Desire in serving the devotees.
No offenses. Yeah.
Not offending devotees and not criticizing devotees. And 4th one?
Intense desire.
Please, Krishna and Guru. Guru and Krishna.
By doing service. These pehle 4 tier tik karne ka. Then why not? Sometimes people ask, I am reading Bhagavad Gita, can I read? Then some people say, I am reading Bhagavatam, can I read Chaitanya Charitamrita? Are you are mature enough, then go read parallelly, we say. Right? So if you think you have maturity, you are the best person to judge. And why not? We should go forward always. It's important. Right? Now, one time for years I thought, another nivritti nahi ho raha, after that, a day will come. So then I started looking for, Nishtha means, Bhurjan Prabhu says you have applied Trunada Visarichana in your life. I told myself I didn't apply. I mean, I cannot apply Trunada Visarichana. Then Bhaktivinoda Thakur says you are rated, you are in Sattva-guna, predominant Sattva-guna. I don't know. So, but one thing is there, you are steady with your sadhana for a good amount of time and you have desire, Madhyamadikari, Prema Maitra Kripa Paksha, your goal of life is to attain the love of God. You make friendship with devotees who are similarly situated. Maitri, you make friendship with them. And when you see somebody, the people do not know these things, you give them you tell them how to chant and all. Krupa. You show, little, actually we don't have compassion. Compassion is a quality of actually Bhava stage. So, our prema stage. So we become an instrument of compassion of Srila Prabhupada and previous acharyas, and we preach. Apeksha, envious. People who are envious, you stay away from them. If these 4 qualities you are able to possess constantly, you are a Madhyamadikari. You are a Madhyamadikari. Madhyamadikari means he is an Ishta stage. So, with that, I will end here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai. Thank you so much.